Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At Enchain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts. Basically ones that can run operating systems. That's all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Alright everybody, it looks like we are live. Welcome to Satoshi TV, aka Bitcoin SV TV, aka It's Just Bitcoin, and we know it. Bring it on, let's rock and roll. Right, I've got some few articles to get through today. Never a dull moment in this space, would you believe it? Oh my goodness me. Right, so let's have a look at some of these. So a few things to report on. So check it out, look at this. So by the way, today's date is Saturday, the 21st of August 2021. We are about to be gone. Here we go. Look, so we started off about 6 days ago at 200 megabytes in front of Coolcoin BTC, and now we're 250 plus in front of Coolcoin. This is the actual chain extension, which is absolutely massive. We're motoring in front, so that's the extension of the chain. So remember, you know, BTC Coolcoin is trying to grow as well, and we are just storming out in front. You know, and the size of the chain represents the most useful chain, effectively. It's a massive indicator, and it's a massive conspiracy. This shitcoin is a shit for brains. Have no idea what they're doing. But yeah, first thing I want to look at. So somebody was asking me about this. We'll have a look at Solana. Seems to be all the talk of the town at the moment because shitcoiners don't have a clue what they're on about. So Solana Mazzari, Solana crypto history. Here we go. So let's see what this sounds like, shall we? Go and read this. So overview. Solana is a piece of shit, as we'll find out, is a public base layer blockchain protocol that optimizes for scalability. Yeah, whatever. Its goal is to provide a platform that enables developers to create decentralized applications, haven't heard that before, without needing to design around performance bottlenecks. Solana features a new timestamp system called Proof of History, of which there is no competition in whatsoever, as in like there is no opportunity cost for anybody in there to compete with anybody else. That enables automatically ordered transactions. It also uses a proof of stake. Oh dear, may as well just call it proof of centralization consensus algorithm to help secure the network. Additional design goals include sub-second settlement times, low transaction costs, and support for all LLVM compatible smart contract languages, blah, 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 blah. History: Solana's origins date back to late 2017 when founder Anatoly Yakovenko published a white paper detailing a new timekeeping technique for distributed systems called proof of history. What a joke. In blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum, one of the limitations to scalability is the time required to reach a consensus on the order of transactions. No, not on genuine Bitcoin, it's not. Anatoly believes his new technique could automate the transaction order process for blockchains, providing a key piece that would enable crypto networks to scale well beyond their capabilities at the time. That's because Corecoin had been purposely restricted and the genuine Bitcoin hadn't been able to approve itself at the time. Anatoly later teamed up with former Qualcomm colleague Greg Fitzgerald to build a single blockchain network in Rust that used proof of history as its internal clock. The two released the first internal testnet with a demo and official version of the project's white paper in Feb 2018. Another former Qualcomm cohort, Stephen Ackridge, suggested that offloading signature verification to graphics processors could further increase transactions throughput, i.e. scalability. Anatoly recruited Greg and Stephen and 3 others to found the company that would eventually become Solana Labs. Oh, see, look, Solabs, it's a security offering. The founding team included former Apple engineers. Oh yeah, I had to throw that in there. In addition to the Qualcomm veterans. They initially named the project Loom, I remember that, but later rebranded it to Solana to avoid confusion with the Ethereum Layer 2 scaling solution Loom Network. Solana Labs began raising funds, to build its new crypto network in Q2 2018. Between April 2018 and July 2019, the team raised a little over $20 million in various private token sales. They announced the sales as a single Series A in late July 2019. The funding effort ran parallel to Solana's work on the protocol, which went through several permission testnet phases before the team announced its public incentivized testnet called Tour de Sol in Q3 2020. The first stage of Tour de Sol went live in February 2020 and it continues to run alongside the mainnet beta version of Solana today. Solana launched on mainnet in March 2020 shortly after raising $1.76 million in public token auction hosted on CoinList. The project's beta network featured basic transaction capabilities and smart contract support, but it did not include any staking rewards as Solana was still determining its ongoing issuance schedule. The current plan is to upgrade from its current beta stage to a more productive, ready version in either late 2020 or 2021. At the moment, Solana Labs remains a core contributor to Solana Network, while the Solana Foundation helps ongoing development and community building efforts. What a joke. What a joke. Right, and to prove it's a joke, we'll just have one of my favourite video shorts here of Gary Gensler, the chairman of the SEC, describing exactly what a security is right now.
You just described some crypto as securities. Which ones do you think of as securities?
It's pretty clear, and the Supreme Court has actually spoken about this many times. If somebody is raising money, selling a token,
start the Ether presale in a couple of weeks. So the Ether presale will be an opportunity for anyone to purchase Ether, where Ether is the internal currency inside of the Ethereum system, sort of like the XRP and Ripple.
And the buyer is anticipating profits.
What we're hoping is that sort of similar to what happened with Mastercoin. If that slice is something like 20%, and then the value of Ether goes up by 5, then we basically have the entire initial BTC that we got all over again.
Based on the efforts of that group.
About 100 people that are working on Ethereum right now.
Myself leading the protocol design.
And we also have branding teams, we have marketing teams.
That fits into something that's a security.
Partially in order to better flesh out the business plan, partially in order to better flesh out the terms, partially for legal reasons.
Absolutely hilarious. Like, I can't believe, like, nobody knows the difference between a commodity and a security. It's insane. The entire market, literally $2 trillion worth, are all illegal security offerings. Like, it's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how many times I've been going on about this, but I mean, if you ask me, I would say my channel is censored because, like, what, you know, other new channels go out there and get like 500 views, and I get like, well, I'm chuffed if I get over 100, but, you know, well, I suppose, I mean, that's 100 well-educated people, which is probably better than, well, you know, 100, what, 10, a group of, you know, 10 people with a fundamental understanding of something can achieve more than 1,000 people who don't have a clue. So that's what I'm aiming at, but, I mean, seriously, the message needs to get out there for these people who literally don't understand what security is, because the SEC is coming after them, and they're literally worth jack shit, the whole lot of them. Dear oh dear. So yeah, thought that was quite amusing. Let's go on to some news then. So I just saw this. Look at this. Huobi mentioned here. Huobi Bybit among 12 unregistered digital currency firms in hot water with Spain regulators. And if they're in hot water with Spanish regulators, they will soon be in hot water with the rest of the world and their regulators. Oh dear. So let's get into this then. So the National Securities Market Commission, Spain's chief securities regulator, has issued warning notices against some 12 digital currency firms, here we go, operating in the country after finding them to be operating without the required registration with local authorities. In the latest crackdown from the authority, the Commission issued the warnings as an alert to consumers and operators in a bid to encourage the operators to legitimise their status in the country as soon as possible. The move follows the introduction of a requirement for digital currency exchanges and other types of digital currency businesses to register with the authorities before operating in the country. However, while the Securities Market Commission has administrative powers to oversee the sector, it lacks the enforcement powers to sanction firms without application to the Spanish justice system. As a result, the warnings do not mean the exchanges are banned or prevented from trading in the country, but are instead being named and shamed by the regulator in a bid to encourage their timely compliance. The list of companies featured in the alert is digital currency exchanges, Huobi, Bybit, Dasdaq, Markets Cube, and Expertise Trader. It also includes trading platforms, Markets EU, Profit Assist, and Financial Resident, an Australian investment company, Liberty Sky, and crypto token user N2 Group, as well as the Market Limited. The move from the regulator comes against the tightening by international regulators to digital currency operators, with exchanges and other digital currency businesses facing increasing pressure from authorities in their home countries. The same is increasingly being applied to international operators across jurisdictional boundaries, with fresh requirements emerging in a patchwork fashion, requiring regulation and compliance in each of the markets they are operating. It now rests with the company's name to take steps to register with the authorities in order to bring themselves into line with the compliance requirements in force across Spain. And then after that, they're all going to be they're going to be done for selling unregistered securities. It's so stupid. Honestly, it's so stupid. You know, we've got the laws in place for just like new scams dressed up as like new things. They're the same old scams. Literally the same old scams. Time and time again. You know, oh, the law doesn't apply. Yes, it does. Let's see what else there is. I don't think I saw anything else that really took my fancy here. Yeah, no, okay. Let's move on to our favourite shitcoin online magazine. I just saw something in here that quite caught my attention, actually. I thought it was quite funny. Let's see, really not interested in that. Yeah, who cares? Price. There we go, look at this. What's this? Van Elk Pro Shares apply to withdraw Ethereum EFT filings from SEC. So it's unclear why both asset managers chose to apply for and withdraw seemingly similar applications for ETFs on the same days. Probably because they knew that the regulator would come down on them and say that actually they're all security offerings. So, less than 2 days after submitting separate applications to the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, asset manager Van Eck and ProShares have seemingly decided not to pursue exchange trade funds with exposure to Ether. I wonder if this is what the COPA are going to do, like a sharp exit U-turn, you know, when they try and take Craig to court. In individual Friday filings with the SEC, legal representatives of Van Elk and ProShares both said the firms had elected not to proceed with registering their respective Ether-based exchange trade funds. Van Elk had submitted a filing to launch the Ethereum Strategy ETF with the SEC on Wednesday, while ProShares applied for an Ethereum or an Ether Strategy ETF the same day. Both products had seemingly aimed to provide exposure to ETH by investing in futures contracts, as well as pooled investment vehicles and other exchange trade products. It's unclear why both asset managers chose to apply for and withdraw seemingly similar applications for Ether ETFs on the same day, but the two firms said they had not sold any securities, all connected to the potential offering. Yeah, just want to make that clear, Gov. Sharp exit, sharp exit. SEC Chair Gary Gensler said earlier this month that he would be more open to accepting ETFs based on crypto futures rather than through direct exposure. At that time, Van Eck already had Coolcoin BTC and Ethereum exchange trade funds under review by the agency, but the company later filed a separate prospectus for a Coolcoin strategy ETF, a fund with exposure through Coolcoin futures contracts. Oh dear, like they're learning the hard way. This is so funny. Honestly, this is why we say shitcoin is shit for brains. They're so slow off the mark. You know, like honestly, I don't know how else to say their security offerings. Yeah, utterly worthless bits of data. You know, it's really shocking, quite honest with you. But so should I say shocking, not shocked? You know. Yeah, I mean they're just the arrogance, the belligerence, from these shitcoiners. It's just shocking, really. They're just not bothered taking the time. Like I said, it all comes down to ego and arrogance, really. So that's top stories on Decrypt. Let's have a look at these. Solana DeFi protocol, Luna yield goes dark. It goes dark with 6.7 million in crypto. What? Let's have a look at this. Luna yield has disappeared, taking $6.7 million worth of investor funds with it. Oh, look, rug pull by the looks of it. Oh, what is this? In brief, DeFi yield aggregator Luna Yield baited investors with promises of high yields. The platform went dark after taking off with $6.7 million worth in cryptocurrencies. SolPad, the platform which launched the Luna Yield IDO, has finalized its compensation plan for those affected. Investors in the recently launched DeFi yield aggregator Luna Yield fear that the developers of the cross-chain project ran off with about $6.7 million in shitcoiner funds on Thursday, just 2 days after launching. An anonymous source told CoinDesk that the Luna Yield developers had made off with approximately $6.7 million in crypto assets through Solana address that employed the original Luna Yield contract. The project's website is now offline and its social media presence erased. Oh dear. The address signed multiple transactions for large amounts of wrapped Coolcoin, wrapped ETH, and leaned and USDT to be transferred into an anonymous Tornado wallet. Oh dear. Well, the thing is, though, it's everything's online, so you can trace it. They're never going to get away with it. It's so again, shitcoin is shit for brains. Luna Yield launched on Tuesday through the multi-chain Solana-powered fundraising platform SolPad. It was SolPad's second IDO after SolStarter. An IDO or initial index offering is when a blockchain project sells a new cryptocurrency, in this case Luni, on a decentralized exchange to raise money to line their own pockets with. Following the subsequent blackout of Luna Yield's Sol media channels, almost 200 investors banded together on Telegram and vented their frustration in the Luna Yield rug pull Telegram chat. Look, this shitcoiners getting shat on. You know, it's just dear. A rug pull is a crypto exit scam. It often happens when a newly launched decentralized piece of shit project runs off with shitcoiners' funds. Scam projects often promise high yields to bait investors, in other words, shitcoiners. SolPad has been quick to respond on all channels. A spokesperson on Telegram said the platform was collecting proof of Luna's alleged rug pull, which could make an enormous impact on investors and its community. SolPad said it will compensate Luna Yield initial DEX offering participants in the US dollar stablecoin USDC with a value equal to 60% of the purchase amount. So they're still screwed 40%. Dear oh dear. Dear oh dear. I mean, literally, what is it going to take for these shitcoiners and shit for brains to learn anything? I'm only laughing because I just don't know what else to do. I'm not going to, you know, what else can you do? Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and well up, so I may as well just laugh at it. You know, for being stupid. Maybe it's the best lesson they'll ever learn, you know. BESV is the genuine Bitcoin. It's the only one that isn't a scam. Literally, $2.2 trillion worth of scams on the market. It is shocking, really. And let's have a look at this. So I just saw this on Bitch News. Check it out. Fluffy Pony, a flight risk. Let's have a look at this. So Monero developer Ricardo Spagni denied bail after court brands him a flight risk. Following Ricardo Spagni's arrest by US law enforcement on July 21st, 2021, a United States court has now ruled against granting him bail to the former lead maintainer at Monero. In its ruling, the court determined that Spagni, who is also known as Fluffy Pony, failed to put up a convincing argument that he was not a flight risk. Spagni's crypto holdings make him a flight risk. Instead, according to a report, the court accepts the US law enforcement argument that Ricardo Spagni's significant cryptocurrency holdings make him a flight risk. Meanwhile, Spagni's failure to secure bail means the South African government will proceed now with the submission of the extradition documents while he is in detention. Spagni, who is facing charges of defrauding his former employer in South Africa, Cape Cookies, is being detained, so he won't leave the country before the conclusion case. This unsanctioned departure to the United States in turn prompted the magistrates' court in Cape Town to issue a warrant for Spagni's arrest. Using the warrant, the US Marshals were able to arrest and detain Spagni when the private jet he was travelling in was intercepted while it refueled in Nashville, Tennessee. Tracking Spagni's movements. Meanwhile, court documents that narrate the events leading up to Spagni's arrest suggest that prior to the arrest, the US Marshal's Office had been notified of Spagni's travel itinerary on the day in question. The documents also explain how the appearance of Spagni's name on the plane's passenger manifest sealed the crypto developer's fate. The documents state, "We have the manifest for the chartered flight was filed. Spagni's name triggered a red notice flagging him as a subject of international law enforcement request." Still as Ashley Allen, the supervisory deputy US Marshal, explained in court, law enforcement could still have located Spagni before his arrest on July 21st, but this did not happen. In the meantime, the court documents suggest that the South African government has had 60 days to submit the necessary documents to the United States for the extradition hearing. The period is set to expire on September 19th, 2021. The law is coming for all these scumbags. All these scumbags. Every single one. Slowly, like it grinds away. There is nothing they can do about it. They can't erase what they've done. You know, put it through mixers, whatever. It can still be traced. It can still be traced. Traced. That's a cross between traced and tracked. Alright, let's go back home, see if there was anything else on B-Crash News. Seriously. News. That's what we want. I don't think there was anything else that really caught my attention. Let's go. Yeah. Hong Kong arrests 19 people in international cryptocurrency scam. God, they're doing well. They are doing well. Another scam being taken down. Australian police seize $8.4 million in Corecoin, possibly linked to Silk Road Marketplace. Crypto exchange Liquid hacked, loses millions in various cryptocurrencies. Yeah, already went over that. All right, let's see. Let's see what this. Oh, what's this one? Coinbase to invest $5 million. Yeah, we heard that one. Yeah. What's this? JP Morgan, Wells Fargo launching Corecoin funds. SEC filings confirm. They're probably going to get pulled as well. Let's see what the police have been doing here before we have a look at Crypto Potato. So according to a recent report, law enforcement authorities from Victoria, Australia have seized $8.49 million in cryptocurrency assets. The seizure stemmed from a darknet market investigation that ultimately led to uncovering drug trafficking on a dark web platform dating back to 2012. See, 2012, I mean, it's almost like 9 years ago. Yeah, the criminals probably thought they got away with it. Police in Victoria, Australia seized a stash of drugs and $8.4 million in core coin. On August 20, the writer for the publication The Age, Simone Fox Coobe, explained how law enforcement from Australia, specifically the state of Victoria, seized $8.4 million in crypto assets believed to be in core coin. 2 Victorians obtained a massive stash of core coin, cash and drugs. The police believe the duo might be connected to the Silk Road marketplace. Law and drug enforcement agents arrested a 31-year-old woman from Kinglake, north of Melbourne, and a 30-year-old man from Preston, according to Coobe's report. Police seized a stash of drugs including marijuana, psilocybin, mushrooms, MDMA, and prescription drugs as well. Coobe notes that the couple was arrested pending further inquiries, but the woman faces cannabis charges. According to the Age report, Australian law enforcement has been investigating the couple's alleged usage of the original Silk Road marketplace. The pair of suspects were associates. Coobe's report details that they amassed significant wealth. The report also notes that 2 properties located in Kinglake and Dollar were also forfeit to law enforcement, and the combined value of both properties was $2 million. They've been living it up. So $2.6 million in cash seized from unremarkable pair. Law enforcement also took $2.6 million in cash stored in the couple's banks and 2 vehicles that were worth around $100,000 each. A member of the Victorian Police Crime Command, Commander Mick Fruin, told The Age that the pair were ordinary people. These people have not come to the police notice at all. They've amassed extensive wealth for all from the keyboard in their own living room. Fruin emphasised the law enforcement commander added, "They are just completely anonymous individuals in the community. I would describe them as quite unremarkable in every way. They don't ordinarily get associated with overt displays of wealth or have a connection to any organised crime gang network." They were playing their cards well, but look at that. They were being sensible, being cautious, and they still got caught. Fruin further stressed that the investigation will take some time and law enforcement needs to cross jurisdictions to get information on specific platforms. The couple faces upwards of 10 years in prison for the offences, and the female must appear in court for the narcotics possession charges. 10 years, all these people being sent down. Don't do it, people. Don't do it. It is all I can say, literally. And let's have a quick look at this one. BitConnect promoters must pay over $12 million in penalties. The SEC reached a settlement with 3 BitConnect promoters for over $12 million in core coin and fiat currency, but the case is not over yet. The cryptocurrency world is nearing the end of its darkest and the most, and some extent, weirdest chapters as the SEC agreed to a settlement of more than $12 million from defendants Joshua Jepson, Michael Noble, and Laura Mascola, accused of being a key part of BitConnect, the most famous Ponzi scheme in the history of cryptosphere. According to an official announcement by the SEC, Japson and Noble were processed as defendants. Laura Mascola, Jepson's partner, was being processed as a relief defendant. Birds of a feather. A $12 million settlement for a $2.5 billion scam. The SEC introduced a complaint on May 28, 2021 against Jepson, Noble, and Mascola. On the same document, the agency included other names like Ryan Masson, Craig Grant, and more popular Trayvon James. The settlement does not include the latest 3 names, which means there are still some files opened and the investigation has not ceased. In fact, the FBI is still collecting as much information as possible, even to this day. The Securities and Exchange Commission explains that it asked for core coin and American dollars as 2 separate payment methods. What? They're actually asking for core coin as a payment method. Yeah. On August 13, 2021, the United States District Court of the Southern District of New York entered a judgment against Michael Noble, aka Michael Crypto, and a final judgment against Joshua Jepson for their involvement with the BitConnect and the promotions of its lending program brackets. The court also entered a final judgment against Laura Mascola as a relief defendant. Pursuant to the judgments, the defendants and relief defendant had been ordered to collectively pay more than $3.5 million and 190 core coin in disgorgement and prejudgment interest. So it's caught up with them as well. Jepson shall pay $3 million in disgorgement and prejudgment interest, 190 Bitcoin in disgorgement, and $150,000 penalty. He also must provide access to a Bitcoin wallet to satisfy his obligations to pay the owed compensation in crypto. Michael Noble shall pay an undetermined amount for disgorgement, prejudgment interest, and civil penalties. The court later determined the amount. And Mascola shall pay $500,000 in disgorgement and prejudgment interest. What was BitConnect? BitConnect is perhaps the most well-known Ponzi scheme in the crypto world. During its peak between late 2017 and early 2018, it went on to accumulate a market capitalization of $2.5 billion. Jeebus. Placing it comfortably inside the top 10 cryptocurrencies, just as Corecoin was flirting with a $20,000 price tag. It became world famous in its aggressive marketing campaign, its referral program, its promises of high returns, and for having the most cringy and funny presentation of all time. The famous meme starring Latino host Carlos Matos. Oh my goodness! Right, and let's finish off with some parody stuff. The Soon Times. I do find this quite funny actually. Bonded courier delivers pizza to N-Chain. This was written 2 days ago. London, the offices of N-Chain Global received an important and long-anticipated delivery late last night. A bonded courier, flanked by lawyers and security personnel, brought in a multiple combination locked case, handcuffed to their hands, with partial keys held by two different people. Once N-Chain executives performed the proper legal signings, the case was opened to reveal 6 pizzas from a nearby chain. Things almost went south when it was discovered that one of the pizzas had pineapple. After a brief standoff, guns drawn, everyone calmed down when CTO Steve Shadders emerged to say he had ordered the pineapple pie and there was nothing to worry about. A thorough scan of the pizzas confirmed its safety. Yes, things did get a bit tense, but that's pretty normal when you're working with high-stakes pizzas for our dev team. I'm reasonably pleased with the secure and successful delivery, Shadders said. Others seemed a bit disappointed. One employee told the Soon Times, "To be honest, these are not the kind of slices I had hoped would be delivered," but did not elaborate further. N-Chain Chief Scientist Officer Craig Wright did not seem interested in partaking of the late night snack, but immediately grabbed the receipt and began searching for signs of malicious backdating from a third party who may have intercepted the proof of pizza along the way and altered it to make him look bad. That is quite funny. It is quite funny. I do enjoy sarcasm, quality entertainment in this space. Right, we'll leave it there then, people. Shout out to people in the chat box. Keith Fellows, Earth Clinching, and what's this? Shocking, not shocked. Good one. All right, let's have all those handles and paymails in the chat box. Let's do this. Rock and roll. One of my favourite parts of the day. I'm loving life at the moment. I love doing my shows in the morning. Love dishing out dongs in the afternoons and evenings. Right, Keith Fellows, there we go. First in there like a whippet, swiping to send on the way to you, sir. Got it. And Earth Clinching, you're going to have to tell me what your handle or paymail is. And Shocking, not shocked as well. Tell you what, Orange Kick normally gets in this, so I'll ding him a dong anyway. There we go, on the way. And we'll do one to KP Dad as well, who's another lurker. Might be listening, who knows. KP Dad, there we go. Swiping to send, and we'll do one to Shelly Mac as well. Coming your way. Here we go. Shirley Mac, there we go. And we'll do Neezy as well because he's normally in there. Anyone else, please put your handles and paymails in there. Here we go. NEE, Neezy, there we go. Swiping to send on the way. There we go. All right, we'll leave it there. I'll give 8 seconds for anyone else to put the handles and paymails in there. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're done. Hope you enjoyed the show. As ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there. Joy giving. Catch you guys later. Get paid for posting your pics on Relica. Download the app now at www.getrelica.com. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Support independent content creators on micropayment platforms such as Streamanity, Twitch and Relica. We should profit from our data, not the large corporations who track, monitor and sell it. If you enjoy the Bitcoin content that I produce, please support me by heading over to www.satoshi.tv, where you can keep up to date with all the latest news, gossip and content as it's created. Thanks very much. To get started in Bitcoin, go to freebsv.com, where you can claim your free Bitcoin. Then head over to Twitter and follow @IamSatoshi, where you can take part in his very generous and world famous free giveaways. The future of advertising meets the power of Bitcoin at Tonic Pow. Get paid for posting advertising campaigns to your social media profiles. Go to www.tonicpowads.com.